Hello, third grade, and welcome to my home. This is going to be our makeshift classroom for as long as we need it, and we're going to continue to learn together here at my house until we're back at school together. So today we're going to review the fact that we're learning about adjectives, and adjectives describe nouns. So if I think of, let's think of a word to describe your car. Tell your parents some words to describe your car. So Mrs. Gay's new car is small. Mrs. Gay's new car is red. What are some words that describe your car? Okay, let's think about our animals. Think about description words for your animals. I'm going to show you my animal in just a second. Molly, come here. Come here. Mrs. Gay's animal is little. Mrs. Gay's animal is white. What are some words that would describe, some adjectives that would describe your pet at home if you have one? Hi, Molly. How are you? Say hello to my kids. Okay, kiddos. So, sometimes we have to add things to our adjectives to help us understand exactly what we're describing or how many we're describing. So I'm going to give you an example here. Mrs. Gay's shoe is long. Pastor Joel's shoe is longer. Parker's shoe is longest. Long, longer, longest. Let's look at the board together. Look at how I changed that adjective. The adjective is long. Look how I changed it to say, now we're comparing two shoes. So we add the ER. And now we're comparing more than two shoes. So I add EST. Okay, think of three things that are short. Maybe you have three young cousins that are short. One of them, you could say, my cousin is short. If you're comparing two, you could say, Stephanie is shorter than Elizabeth. If you're comparing more than two, you would say, Danelle is the shortest of all. Comparing two, we add ER. Comparing more than two, we add EST. Long, longer, longest. Short, shorter, shortest. Okay, let's look at sentence one. Aaron's jump is high. How many jumps are we comparing? We're comparing one jump. So we use the adjective high. Okay, before we go any further with sentence one, I want to look at some things, to review some things that we already know. Where does the subject divide between the subject and the predicate? Number one, Aaron's jump is high. We divide that sentence right after jump. Okay? So, what is the subject of this sentence? The subject is jump. We underline that once. That looks like more than once, doesn't it now? Jump. What is the verb in this sentence? The verb is a linking verb. The verb is linking verb. Jump is what? Jump is high. Now let's also look at the word Aaron's for a second. Aaron's has an apostrophe right here. What is that telling us here? This apostrophe is telling us that the jump belongs to Aaron. The jump belongs to Aaron. The apostrophe is telling us that Aaron owns the jump. Aaron's jump is high. One jump, so we don't have any change on the end. Okay, let's look at sentence 2. Will's jump is higher than Aaron's jump. How many jumps are being compared here? Well, Will's jump is 1. Aaron's jump is 2. 2 jumps are being compared, and so we end our adjective with the ER ending, higher. Let's split this sentence between subject and predicate. Will's jump is higher than Aaron's jump. Where does the subject end and the predicate begin? It ends here. Will's jump is higher than Aaron's jump. What is the subject? The subject is jump. What is the verb? The verb is a linking verb. The verb is. Okay, somebody tell their mother what this is telling us. What is this apostrophe telling us? Take a second and tell your mom that. The apostrophe in Will's is telling us that this jump belongs to him. Okay, let's look over here. What about this apostrophe in Aaron's? What is this telling us? This is telling us that this jump belongs to Aaron. It's showing possession. Okay, let's look at sentence 3. Toby's jump is the highest of all. So how many jumps are being compared here? Well, we have Toby's, which is 1. We have Will's, which is 2. And we have Aaron's, which is 3. Highest jump means that more than 2 things are being compared, and we use the ending EST for more than 2 things. Okay, let's separate this sentence a little bit. Where does the subject end and the predicate begin? Between jump and is where we divide our sentence here. What is the subject? The subject is jump. What is the verb? The verb is a linking verb, is. Remind me what this means? That apostrophe is telling us that Toby owns this jump. This jump belongs to Toby. Okay, kiddos, I want you now to maybe pause this video if you need to, but I need you to get out your worksheet, page 229. I want us to look at that together before you go on and do your work. So I want you to look at 229, and we're going to look at the top information box here. Because as always, in English, sometimes we have to spell things differently, and I want to talk about that before I have you dig into this lesson on your own. So get your information box for 229, and I want to look at the word cute. Okay? The word cute goes here. We're talking about one dog being cute. Now the rule is that if an adjective ends in a silent E, we drop that E before adding the ER or EST. So what this rule is saying is we're not going to do this. Cute. We're not going to do that. The rule is that when we're comparing more than 2 things, what they're telling us to do is to drop this E and then add the ending. So keeping that rule in mind, if we're talking about more than 2 things being cute, or we're comparing more than 2 things that are cute, how would we spell cutest? Well, we're going to drop that E, right? We're going to drop that and then add E-S-T, cutest. Okay, so that is rule number 2 in your yellow box. Now, let's look at this word. The word is big. Let's look at big. Okay. In your yellow box, the word is fat, but I want to use a different one so you have more than one examples. So this rule is, if a 1-syllable adjective has a short vowel, or I there, followed by a consonant, we're going to double this consonant and add our ending. So what this is saying is big becomes bigger. We're doubling the consonant and adding our ending. So I want you to think for a second, if I'm talking about two or more things or more than two things, what is this going to become? How am I going to write biggest? Think about that. Biggest. G-G-E-S-T. Okay, one more example. Write the word funny. Funny. Go ahead and write that. Now, on your yellow information box, it says this: if an adjective ends in a consonant followed by a Y, change the Y to I and add your ending, okay? So we're going to change the Y for funny. We're going to change the Y to I and add our ending. So if I'm talking about two things, funny is going to become what? Go ahead and write it or tell your parent. Funny is going to become what? Funnier. And if I'm talking about more than two things, what does it become? It becomes funniest. Very good. Okay, third grade, I want you to take your time and read through that yellow information box again. And then I want you to complete pages 229 and 230. And I'll see you again tomorrow.